Hello humans and animals alike, this is Dylus, and welcome back to Final Fantasy Restored. So we have just reached this little town, so let's see what's up. Hello there. Save our prince! Oh, yeah, we've heard about the prince being in a deep sleep before. Alright. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, tombstones. Oh, I'm sorry. They're gravestones. Here lies Link. Oh. Now who's Hyrule gonna depend on? Hello? I am a prophet. I can see the future through meditation. I'm hoping to see it again. Well, remember this guy for later. Oh, excuse me? If the prince doesn't wake up, there won't be an heir to the throne. We'll be ruled by the Dark Elves. And that's a bad thing, I guess, 'cause as we all know, darkness is bad, and light is good. No one knows where Astos, King of the Dark Elves, is hiding. Ah, okay. I once wandered into an old castle to the west. Its emptiness gave me a bad feeling, so I left right away. Okay, well, we'll have to check that out, I suppose. There's somebody over here, too. The prince was going to become the new elf king, and then he was put to sleep. Did I talk to you already? Mithril weapons and armor are very powerful. Ah, yes. And you too are a prophet. Alright, before we check out the shops, let's head on over to the castle. Oh, by the way, this place is called Elfheim. I'm not sure if anybody says it is. Astos cursed our prince to an eternal slumber. Help us! Ah, Astos has done a lot of naughty things. Astos came to our castle suddenly, cursed our prince, and stole our treasure. Great. Alright, well, we'll see what we can do about it. Hello? The friendly dwarves live in a cave on the western edge of the Aldine Sea. Oh yeah, we met those guys before, in the previous episode. Oh, there's somebody down here. I heard about a witch who can brew up any medicine. Her name was Matoya? Well, she can't see without a crystal eye, and you can already see where this is going, right? Well, there's the prince. The prince was cursed by Astos 5 years ago and has been asleep ever since. Is there any medicine that could undo this? Okay, so we know what to do now, but now we have to prepare for our journey. So let us go back into town and see what is available to us. So first off, the weapons. We have a dagger, which is just a stronger knife. A crosier, which is utterly useless, actually. I believe, let me take a look at the list. Yeah, the fighter and black belt can equip this. But the thing is, the black belt can equip these iron nunchucks just fine, and they are more powerful than the crosier. So, what's the point? And the fighter can take the saber, which is only one less attack point than the crosier, but the saber is more powerful. So, don't even bother with the crosier. And as for this longsword, this is a replacement of the mithril sword that is in the original NES version. The mithril sword, or the silver sword as it is called there, would cost 4,000 gil here, and for it to be sold in the weapon shop this early on, it is obscenely powerful. So the restored version just replaced it with the longsword instead. It makes sense. The longsword is actually a sword that would be sold in the next town in the original version. And yeah, the thief cannot equip this, the fighter and red mage can. So all we have is the saber for the thief, but even then I wouldn't get it just yet. And this has to do with a new mechanic that I haven't discussed yet. So just hold off on the saber for now, as it is less accurate than the scimitar. I will, however, get the iron nunchucks for Bruno, and the dagger for Cyrus. Let us equip those right away. Oh, actually I'll discuss something about, Monk's equipment later. Yeah, we upgrade from 15 attack to 19. Oh, whoops. Equip the dagger, and it is just bar none a better knife, so we'll sell our old weapons just like this. And we're done in the weapon shop. Next up is the Black Magic Shop. This magic shop sells level 3 spells, and I think since we're at level 4, we can't actually cast level 3 magic just yet, but we will want to work on acquiring the spells for level 3. Fyra and Thundara are basically just better fire and thunder spells, but they're cast on all enemies instead of just one. Fokara is a spell that decreases the evasion of, I believe, one enemy by 20. However, as you know I'm about to say, in the original NES version the spell is bugged, but to an even worse degree than Focus. Thing is, Fokara, as it is supposed to decrease evasion, in the original NES version it instead increases evasion. So, Fokara is basically worse to have in your arsenal. So, do not even bother. Hold is pretty good. It paralyzes a targeted foe. Plain and simple. Now, the first spells you want to get are Fyra and Thundara. So, just bear that in mind, as we will be grinding for more, gil. Oh yes, we will be grinding for a lot more gil. You'll see soon enough. Anyway, White Magic. Level 3 spells here. Cura is basically a better cure. Diara is a better dia. Heal, I wouldn't even bother with heal. Unless you have, like, a party full of mages, heal just restores so little HP to the entire party that it's not really even worth it. You'd be better off just buying a ton of potions instead. Barfire is definitely one you'll want later down the line, as it will protect you against fire elemental attacks. I would be going for Cura and Diara, personally. Here's the church. Next up is the armor shop. we have the iron armor that is sold in Provoca. We also have the copper armlet. Now, armlets can be worn in place of armor, and if I remember correctly, yes, they can be equipped by anybody. It is a very effective piece of equipment, and definitely something you'll want to equip to your mages. However, as you can see, they are even more expensive than even the iron armor, so we're going to be acquiring a lot of gil for that. Leather cap we've seen before. Helmet, the helmet is only something a fighter can equip, so yeah, if you don't have a fighter on your team, then you don't have to worry about this. Same with the bronze gloves. Wait. Oh, this is strange. The gloves... This would have been regular leather gloves in the original NES version, but it's been bronze gloves in the restored version. Alright then. Would they sell bronze gloves in the next town then? Copper gauntlet, yes, and they would only be equipped to the fighter. So, I'm only interested in the copper armlet. The item shop is over here. We can buy the usual potions and antidotes. We can also buy gold needles. What these do is that they heal an ally from petrification. Petrification is basically the same as being KO'd, so just be sure to have some of these. I wouldn't worry about them right now, though. I would wait until, I believe, after the next few dungeons. The tent, yes, we've seen the tent before, and then we also have cottages, which are super expensive, but they heal, I don't think they heal all HP, but they do heal a lot. And they also restore MP. When it comes to items, you'll definitely want to grab a lot of antidotes now, because, as we have seen in the previous episode, there are going to be enemies that will poison you, and that is no good. You'll also want to buy a lot of healing potions. So you can definitely see there are a lot of things that we want to try to buy. Now, up here in the northern part of Elfheim, you'll see 2 more magic shops. These magic shops sell level 4 spells. I wouldn't personally worry about these until after the next dungeon, but do bear these in mind. Poisona is basically a free antidote. It's a level 4 spell, though, and it costs, like... You'd probably just be better off buying a bunch of antidotes instead. Vox is probably the most useless spell in the game, no matter what version you're playing. What Vox does is that it heals the silence status ailment from an ally. The problem is, though, the few enemies that are able to silence you, they cast them relatively late in their turns when they're still alive. So, you would only really be interested in the Vox spell if you have a party full of mages. Fear, I wouldn't even bother with either. The thing with Fear is that it decreases enemies' morale so that they will run away easier. Yes, enemies can run away from battle as well. It depends on, I believe, how high of a level you are in comparison to the enemies. I just never bother with Fear. The only real worthwhile level 4 white magic spell is Bar Ice, because ice spells can be pretty deadly. Like I said, though, we don't have to worry about level 4 spells for a little bit. As for black magic, if you do want to go for level 4 spells, then this is where you want to go for. Absolutely the best spell you want to get is Haste. Haste increases, or rather doubles, the maximum amount of hits a party member can deal. Now, I have stated before that there are certain monsters that can hit an enemy more than once per turn. This is basically what Haste does, and I'll get even more into additional hits later, but Haste is definitely something you'll want to invest in. Blizzara is, once again, a better ice spell, a better blizzard, I should say. Confuse attempts to confuse all enemies so that they have a chance of not hitting your allies, rather they hit themselves. And Sleepra is a single target sleep spell that has a better chance of putting an enemy to sleep. If you are playing the original NES version, you've heard my spiel about sleep, and I wouldn't really focus on this one. Phew! Okay, all that is finally done. So that was, how much time was it? 16 minutes worth of explanation. Wowee. Okay, so yeah, I was originally gonna go to the Western Keep, as it is called, to show what our next mission would be, but we've been going on long enough, and the next episode is pretty much only going to be about grinding Gil and experience, essentially. So here are the things that I am wanting to acquire. So, first off, I would like to get alright, so I already bought the large dagger and the iron nunchucks, so we're good on that. I would like to get a copper bracelet, or rather, I would like 3 copper bracelets. 2 would be fine, but I would like 3. So, that would be 3,000 gil. I would need Harm 2, no, not Harm 2, Diara and Fyra. Those would be the best spells to have for the next part coming up, so that's going to be another 3,000 gil. I'm also going to need a bunch of healing potions and antidotes. So I'm going to aim for 30 potions and 10 antidotes. Probably 12 antidotes. So 60 times 30 is 1,800. And then 75 times 10 is 750. So in total, I am going to need 8,550 gil. It is going to be a long session of grinding, and you will need every last bit of gil you can get. So in the next episode, I am going to tell you about some grinding strategies you can use. Everybody, knows that grinding can get kind of boring, so, sometimes even frustrating, but I'll give you some tips for that in the next episode. So, in the meantime, that will do. This is Stylus, signing off.